Are your vitamins betraying you? Welcome to a journey of health discovery, not the kind filled with rosy promises, glossy advertisements, or empty promises you often see on TV or supermarket shelves. No, this is a sincere, intimate conversation, like sitting down with an old friend and facing the truth together, the truth about what's really happening inside your body right now. I'm not here to sell you a miracle pill or an everlasting youth formula. Instead, I want to invite you to look at a hidden corner that few people pay attention to. The vitamins you take every day, with all the hope of maintaining health, staying youthful, and living actively, may be silently sabotaging you, especially if you're over 60. Think about it. Have you ever wondered if the tiny, colorful pills in the bottle on your kitchen counter are really the heroes you believe them to be? Or are they quietly becoming traitors, weakening your legs, the very things that keep you standing, moving, and living life the way you want? Yes, not every pill is your friend, no matter how heavily advertised. And I'm here, not to scare you, but to help you see the whole picture, a picture you might not have considered. A familiar scenario. Do you recognize it? Imagine this for a moment, and I bet you've experienced it. Even fleetingly, you wake up in the morning, drink a glass of water, then casually take a vitamin from the familiar bottle. Later, you sit on the sofa, intending to get up to grab the remote or make coffee, but suddenly feel a bit unsteady. Just a little, not too obvious, so you tell yourself, must be from sitting too long. Or another day, you go to the supermarket, something you've done hundreds of times without difficulty, but this time, your legs feel heavier, tire more quickly, as if they're not yours anymore. You sigh, consoling yourself. Well, it's just old age. But what if I told you that old age isn't always the culprit? What if I revealed that the real cause might be in the very vitamin you took this morning? What would you think? I know this sounds hard to believe. Vitamins, touted as friends of health, betraying you? But bear with me a little. We'll delve into 3 hidden enemies you might be ingesting every day: vitamin E, vitamin A, and vitamin B6. These aren't strangers, they're familiar names, found in multivitamins, supplements, even recommended by doctors in some cases. But when used incorrectly, especially in higher unnecessary doses, they can turn from allies into saboteurs, weakening your legs, threatening the independence you've worked so hard to maintain over the years. Don't despair. This is your chance. If you're feeling anxious right now, pause and take a deep breath. I'm not here to panic you or make you throw your vitamins in the trash immediately. This isn't a story of despair or a sad ending. On the contrary, it's a story of hope, control, and the opportunity to change before it's too late. I won't just point out the 3 hidden enemies: vitamin E, vitamin A, and vitamin B6, and how they can weaken your legs over time. I'll also show you how to recognize them, understand why they're dangerous, and most importantly, how to regain strength, protect your legs, and maintain the independence you deserve. Think about this. Your legs aren't just tools for moving. They're symbols of freedom: the freedom to walk in the park, the freedom to play with your grandchildren, the freedom to live life the way you choose. When they weaken, you don't just lose physical strength, you lose a part of yourself. But the good news is, you don't have to let that happen. You can act. Today, right now. Let's begin. A call to action. So, are you ready? Sit down, or stand up if you want to challenge yourself a bit, and let's start this journey together. This isn't just an article or a video you scroll past and forget. It's a call to action for yourself, an opportunity to review your habits, ask questions, and decide whether you'll let those little pills control your life, or whether you'll take the wheel. Before we delve into the details of vitamin E, the first silent muscle weakener on the list, take a moment to ask yourself, do I really know what I'm putting into my body? If the answer is no or not sure, then you've come to the right place. Let's turn each page of this story together, and I promise that by the end of the journey, you'll not only understand your health better but also feel empowered to change. Are you ready? Let's go. Part 1. Vitamin E, the silent muscle weakener. Vitamin E, myth or menace? Vitamin E has long been hailed as a miracle drug in the world of health and beauty. Have you ever heard the sweet advertisements? Good for heart health, beautifies skin, anti-aging, promises that captivate everyone. I bet you've seen it on pharmacy shelves, in health articles, or even recommended by friends as a secret to live long, live healthy, especially for older adults, particularly those over 60. Vitamin E has almost become an indispensable companion. They take it daily, hoping to maintain vitality, stay youthful, and ward off signs of aging. But let's pause. Here's the truth that few people talk about. And it might shock you. Vitamin E, when overused, isn't the hero you think. Instead, it can be a silent saboteur, gradually weakening your muscles without you knowing. Let's find out why. Unlike vitamin C, water-soluble, excess of which is easily excreted by the body through urine, vitamin E is fat-soluble. This means it doesn't just pass through the body and leave. It accumulates, stays in the liver, in fatty tissue, and gradually forms a reserve that the body doesn't always need. When you ingest too much, usually over 400 IU per day, a very common dose in over-the-counter supplements, it starts to interfere with important bodily functions. In particular, it affects muscle strength and coordination, two factors that anyone over 60 needs to maintain an active life. You might not notice it immediately. It's not the kind of sudden pain or weakness that grabs your attention. Instead, everything happens subtly, gradually. Maybe it's a bit harder to get up from a chair. You have to hold onto the table more than before. Or when walking, you feel a bit off balance, as if your legs aren't fully obeying you. Or simply an unusual tiredness when grocery shopping, something you used to do as easily as a routine. These small signs are too easy to overlook. What do you think when you encounter them? Oh, I'm just getting old, right? I used to think so too. But here's the concern. Sometimes, the real cause isn't age but what you're putting into your body every day, and more importantly, it's completely fixable if you act in time. Let's delve a bit deeper into the science. Studies have shown that high doses of vitamin E, especially over 400 IU per day, can impair neuromuscular function and hinder muscle metabolism. This is especially dangerous for older adults, whose muscle mass naturally declines over the years. Imagine, your muscles, the things that support your legs, keep you standing and moving, weakening bit by bit, almost imperceptibly, until you realize you need a cane, a walker, or worse, a wheelchair. Moreover, excess vitamin E thins the blood, increasing the risk of internal bleeding, a major threat if you're on anticoagulants or prone to falls. Think of this scenario: a small slip, you fall, and because your blood doesn't clot normally, the injury becomes a much more serious problem. Scary, isn't it? But what's most concerning? There are no warning labels on the vitamin bottle telling you this. No alarm bells ring when you overdose. It happens quietly, silently, and is often disguised under the name natural aging. Millions of older adults still take vitamin E every day, with good intentions, unaware that they might be weakening the foundation of their independence, their own legs. Act today. Alright, we've talked enough about theory and emotions, now it's time to act. I want you to do something small but very important. Today, right now if possible, stand up, or ask someone to help if you're near a table, and get your vitamin E bottle. If you're taking a multivitamin instead of vitamin E alone, get that bottle. Look at the label. What's the dosage? Does it say 400 IU or higher? How long have you been taking it? A few months? A few years? If you're unsure, grab a piece of paper and write down vitamin E, XIU, taken since which month. Then, ask the biggest question. Do I really need this dose? If you don't have a clear answer, don't worry, that's why doctors exist. Bring that piece of paper, or the vitamin bottle itself, to your next doctor's appointment. Don't hesitate to ask, is this dose safe for me? Do I need to continue taking it? And if possible, request a blood test to check your vitamin E levels. Numbers don't lie. They'll tell you if you're at a safe level or have exceeded the danger zone. I know this might be a bit of a hassle. Who likes going to the doctor just to ask about vitamins? Right? But think about it. Just a short conversation could help you avoid years of dependence on canes or wheelchairs. To me, that's a small price to pay for my independence. Don't let ignorance, or laziness, steal the strength of your legs. You deserve to know the truth. And you deserve to control your health. One more small suggestion. While waiting always good, and can even cause serious harm, what would you think? Let's pause for a moment, because this truth might make you reconsider your habits. Like vitamin E, vitamin A is also fat-soluble. This means it's not easily eliminated by the body like water-soluble vitamins, such as vitamin C or B. Instead, it accumulates in the liver, in soft tissues, and when levels exceed what's needed, it's no longer a friend. It becomes a silent saboteur, slowly attacking the two most precious things that help you stand and move, your bones and muscles. This isn't a baseless warning, science has proven it. And I'll explain clearly so you understand. Let's start with bones, the framework that keeps you upright and moving freely. Studies, including those published in prestigious medical journals, have shown that excess vitamin A over a long period accelerates bone loss, especially in vulnerable areas like the hips and legs. Do you know what that means? The parts of your body you rely on to walk, balance, climb stairs, or simply stand up from a chair, they become more fragile. Just a small slip, something you used to easily overcome, can turn into a life-altering fracture. For older adults, whose bones are already thinning with age, this risk is multiplied. I don't want to scare you, but imagine, one beautiful day, you step off a curb, lose your balance, and end up in the hospital for months because your hip bone couldn't take it. That's not a far-fetched scenario. It's something that can happen if you're not careful. But it's not just bones that are affected. Excess vitamin A also weakens muscles, the engines that help you move. You might start feeling more tired than usual, especially in your hips and thighs. Have you ever walked a short distance and your legs ached? Or stood for a while and wanted to sit down immediately? Have you ever wondered why the stairs in your house seem higher than before? Or why you'd rather sit on the couch than take a walk around the neighborhood like you used to? We often blame it on old age. I guess I'm not young anymore. But what if I told you the culprit might be the very vitamin A pill you take every morning? It doesn't shout warnings, doesn't hurt you immediately. It whispers, slowly changes your body, and before you know it, you've lost some of the strength you were once proud of. I once met an elderly friend who told me he started feeling weak in his legs after a few years of taking cod liver oil, a rich source of vitamin A that he believed was a tonic. He said, "I thought it was good for my eyes. But now I'm not sure how far I can walk." At the time, I didn't fully understand, but now I do. Too much vitamin A can be the cause. It's not just a physical problem, it's a quality of life issue. When your bones and muscles weaken, you don't just lose mobility, you lose the joy of small things, grocery shopping, gardening, or simply standing up without help. Self-check. Alright, we've talked about risks and emotions, now it's time for you to check yourself. I want you to do something simple but very important. Today, ask yourself, do I take vitamin A regularly? Where does it come from? Natural foods like carrots and liver? Or from multivitamins, cod liver oil, or a separate supplement? If you're not sure, go get your vitamin bottle right now, if possible, and read the label. What's the dosage? Does it say 5.000 IU or 10.000 IU? Just so you know, the daily requirement for adults is only about 2.300 to 3.000 IU. How long have you been taking it? A few weeks, months, or years? If you see a dosage higher than the recommended amount, or you're not sure if it's safe, write down vitamin A, XIU, taken since when? Then, bring this question to your doctor. Is this dose right for me? Am I harming my bones and muscles? Don't hesitate. Doctors are there to help you, not to judge you. And if possible, ask for a blood test to check your vitamin A levels. It'll give you an accurate answer, not guesswork. I know this might seem inconvenient. Who wants to rush to the doctor just to ask about a vitamin? Right? But think of it this way, just 30 minutes of checking could save you years of pain from fractures or loss of mobility. To me, that's a small price to pay for my freedom. Don't let carelessness or laziness make you pay a much higher price. One more suggestion. While waiting to see your doctor, try standing up and walking around the room. Pay attention to your hips and thighs. Do they hurt? Are they weak? That's your body warning you. Listen to it, and act before it's too late. Part 3. Vitamin B6, the nerve-numbing agent. Vitamin B6. Energy or disaster? Last on our list of 3 hidden enemies is vitamin B6, a name I bet you've seen many times on multivitamin bottles, energy supplements, or even in articles about neurological health. It's advertised as a bright star in the world of nutrition, helping you be more alert, more focused, and full of energy to cope with a busy life. Who wouldn't want that, especially when age makes you feel more tired? Many older adults, especially those over 60, believe that vitamin B6 is the golden key to keeping their minds sharp and bodies active. You can find it in daily multivitamins, brain booster bottles at the pharmacy, or even recommended by doctors to support the nervous system. But here's a truth that few people realize, and it might send shivers down your spine. If you take more than 100 milligrams of vitamin B6 per day, a very common dose in over-the-counter products, it not only fails to provide the energy you expect but can also cause a real disaster: peripheral nerve damage. Let's delve into this issue. Because it's not as simple as you think. Vitamin B6, or pyridoxine, is indeed very important for the body. It helps metabolize energy, supports nerve function, and keeps the brain running smoothly. But contrary to popular belief, it's not entirely like other water-soluble vitamins, like vitamin C, that the body easily excretes when in excess. When you ingest too much vitamin B6, especially at high doses continuously, like over 100 milligrams per day, it starts to accumulate and become toxic to the nervous system. This leads to a condition called peripheral neuropathy, a name that sounds foreign but has frighteningly close consequences. How does it start? Maybe a slight tingling sensation in your toes, like ants crawling. Intermittent, so you easily overlook it. Then it gradually spreads up your feet, up your legs, and eventually, you feel unsteady when walking. You stumble more easily, even without obstacles. Sometimes, your legs feel foreign, as if they no longer belong to you. I once heard an acquaintance describe this feeling. I feel like I'm walking on clouds. But not in a pleasant way, it scares me. Many older adults blame it on age. My legs must be weak, or think it's due to poor circulation. Even a sign of diabetes. But what if I told you the real cause could be the very vitamin B6 you take every day in hopes of getting stronger? Does that startle you? Imagine this scenario. You're walking down the stairs. Something you've done thousands of times without thinking. But this time, your legs don't listen, you misstep, lose balance, and fall. If you're lucky, it's just scratches. But if not, you could fracture a bone or worse. What's most frightening? Nerve damage caused by vitamin B6 isn't always reversible. Even if you stop taking it, some people still live with permanent numbness, weakness, or loss of coordination. I don't want to panic you, but this is a medically documented truth. High doses of vitamin B6, often 100 milligrams or more per day, sometimes just 50 milligrams if taken long-term, have been linked to numerous cases of nerve damage in older adults. And sadly, very few people know this risk when they grab a vitamin bottle off the shelf. Think about it. You take vitamin B6 for energy, alertness, to live better, but instead of vitality, it can rob you of your ability to walk. Isn't that a paradox? A tiny pill, advertised as a friend of health, can become the biggest enemy of your legs. And the concern is, there's no clear warning label on the bottle telling you this. It just silently works. Until you realize it's too late. What to do now? Alright, we've talked about risks and emotions. Now it's time to act. I want you to do something today. No delay. No putting it off. Immediately check your multivitamin or vitamin B6 supplement bottle. Where is it? On the kitchen counter? In the medicine cabinet? Or in your bag? Take it out and read the label. What's the dosage? Does it say 50 milligrams, 100 milligrams, or even higher? Just so you know, the recommended safe daily intake is only about 1.5 to 2 milligrams for adults. And the upper limit is 100 milligrams, exceeding that is dangerous. How long have you been taking it? A few weeks, months, or years? If you see a high dose, or you're unsure if it's safe, write down. Vitamin B6 xmg, taken since when? If you suspect, even slightly, that you're taking too much, stop today. I'm not saying you have to throw it all away, but at least pause until you have a clear answer. Then, call your doctor or schedule an appointment. Ask them, is this dose of vitamin B6 safe for me? Am I at risk of nerve damage? Don't hesitate. Your health is worth caring about. If possible, ask for a blood test to check your vitamin B6 levels. It'll give you an accurate picture of your body's condition. I know this might be inconvenient. Who wants to rush to the doctor just for a tiny vitamin? Right? But think of it this way. Just an hour of checking could save you years of living with numb, insensitive legs, or the fear of falling every day. To me, that's a small price to pay for my freedom and confidence. Don't let the artificial energy from a pill rob you of your legs and your life. One last suggestion. While waiting to see your doctor, try walking around your house and pay attention to the feeling in your legs. Any tingling? Any shaking? That's your body talking to you. Listen and act now. Part 4. Why does this matter to you? Not just vitamins, your life. Now, after exploring the 3 hidden enemies, vitamin E, vitamin A, and vitamin B6, you might be thinking, yeah, sounds scary, but what does it have to do with me? I can still walk. I haven't seen any serious problems. I understand that thought. I was in your shoes once, thinking these things were just distant theories, not touching my daily life. But let me be blunt, without any beating around the bush. This isn't just about vitamins or the tiny pills you take every morning. This is about your life, more specifically. About the independence you've built over the years. And whether you want to keep it or let it slip away without realizing it. Think about your legs for a moment. They're not just tools to get you from point A to point B, from the living room to the kitchen, from home to the supermarket, or from bed to the window to watch the sunrise. They're symbols of freedom, of the ability to live life the way you want, without depending on anyone else. When your legs are healthy, you can take a walk with your grandchildren in the park, hear their laughter echoing beside you. You can stand in the kitchen, cook a delicious meal without needing help. You can walk into the doctor's office on your own, head held high, without needing someone to push your wheelchair. Those little things, the simple joys we often take for granted, are what make up the quality of your life. But when your legs weaken, all those things start to disappear, bit by bit, like grains of sand slipping through your fingers. Think deeper. When your legs weaken, it's not just physical strength that leaves you. It takes away joy, confidence, and self-esteem. Science has shown that loss of mobility, whether due to muscle weakness, broken bones, or nerve damage, can lead to depression, social isolation, and reduced life expectancy. A study I once read said that older adults who lose the ability to walk freely are twice as likely to be depressed compared to those who remain active. To me, that's not just a number, it's a warning about what we might lose if we don't pay attention now. I don't want you, or anyone, to sit still, watching life pass by through the window. I remember one morning when I was walking around the neighborhood and realized my legs weren't as steady as before. I told myself, I must be less active. But after learning about these 3 vitamins, I started to wonder, did the multivitamins I used to take contribute? From then on, I decided not to let things slide blindly anymore. I reviewed my habits, asked my doctor, and changed my lifestyle. The result? I feel stronger, more confident, and I want you to feel that too. So, this is your time to stand up, both literally and figuratively, and take back control of your health. You don't have to wait until you fall, until you need a cane, or until someone has to support you. You can act today, right now. Ask yourself, am I doing something unintentionally harmful to myself? What can I do to protect my legs and my life? Don't let the answer come too late. This isn't someone else's business, this is your business, your life, the years you have ahead. And to help you start, try this. Stand up right now. Take a few steps around the room, and feel. What do your legs tell you? If they say anything, write it down. A small note with, legs sore, need to check, is enough. Then, bring it to your doctor. Or simply commit to learning more. To me, that's the first step to regaining strength, and I believe you can do it too. Sources and related content. Part 5. Act today, reclaim your strength. Awareness is power. If you've followed me this far, through the warnings about vitamin E, and B6, then congratulations, you passed the first, most important step, awareness. The good news is, you're not helpless against these risks. You're not a victim of age or the little pills on your breakfast table. Awareness is power, and right now, you have it in your hands. You know that what you put into your body can silently harm you. But you also know that you can change that. So, why not start today? Not tomorrow, not next week, but right now. While you still have the time and opportunity to reclaim your strength. Action doesn't have to be complicated or scary. It doesn't require you to change your entire life overnight. Instead, it only needs a few simple, practical steps that anyone can take, including you. Right now, I've compiled 4 specific steps to get you started. Think of this as a small map leading you to better health, stronger legs, and a freer life. Here's what you can do. Check your supplements. Stand up, or ask someone to get it for you if you're sitting, and find your vitamin bottle. It might be on the kitchen counter, in the medicine cabinet, or in the living room drawer. Take it out. Read the label carefully. Look for the lines about vitamin E and B6. What's the dosage? Does vitamin E exceed 400 IU? Does vitamin A exceed 3.000 IU? Does vitamin B6 reach 100 milligrams? Write it down on a piece of paper. Vitamin E, XIU. Vitamin A, YIU. Vitamin B6 ZMG. Along with how long you've been taking it, a few months. A few years? This only takes 5 minutes. But it'll give you a clear picture of what you're putting into your body every day. Ask your doctor. Don't rely on general advice like, taking vitamins is good, that you hear from ads or friends. Everyone has a different body. And what you need at 60, 70 is completely different from what you need at 30. Find a doctor who understands geriatrics, someone who can look at your age, health condition, and lifestyle to give you accurate advice. Bring the paper you just wrote to the appointment and ask, is this dose safe for me? Do I really need these supplements? If possible, ask for a blood test to check your vitamin levels. Numbers don't lie. And they'll give you a clear answer. Prioritize food. Our bodies are designed to absorb nutrients from natural foods, not pills. Instead of relying on vitamins, try switching to the best vitamin sources that nature provides. Lean meats like chicken and fish, green vegetables like spinach and broccoli, whole grains like oats and brown rice. They not only provide vitamins but also fiber, protein, and other nutrients your body needs to stay healthy. I'm not saying you have to go on a strict diet, just add some vegetables to dinner. Replace white bread with whole grain bread, or eat an orange instead of taking a supplement. It's simple, but more effective than you think. Listen to your body. Your body is smarter than you think. It always sends signals when something's wrong. If you experience unusual fatigue, weak legs, tingling, or a loss of balance, don't rush to blame it on age and ignore it. Stop, pay attention, and investigate the cause. Write down what you feel. For example, legs numb when walking for 10 minutes, and see if it's related to your vitamin supplement habits. The body doesn't lie, but it needs you to listen to act in time. These steps aren't difficult, right? But they can make a big difference, not just for your legs, but for how you live the years ahead. You don't have to do it all at once. Start with the step you find easiest. Then gradually add the others. The important thing is that you start, because each small step is a time you say, I choose strength, instead of, I accept weakness. My perspective. I want to share a bit of personal experience, because I believe what I'm saying isn't just theory, it's something I've lived and felt. When I started learning about the harmful effects of these vitamins, I realized I had also inadvertently fallen into the more, the better trap. I used to take a multivitamin every day, thinking it would help me feel less tired and healthier. But after reading about vitamin E weakening muscles, vitamin A destroying bones, and vitamin B6 damaging nerves, I decided to change. I didn't throw all my vitamins away immediately. That's too extreme, but I reduced supplementation, checked with my doctor, and focused on eating more naturally. I added green vegetables to breakfast, replaced coffee with orange juice, and started walking 15 minutes a day around the neighborhood. What were the results? After a few weeks, I felt my legs were stronger, no more shaking when walking for a long time, no more wobbling when standing up. But more importantly, I felt more confident. I no longer worried that I would weaken with age, or have to live dependent on someone. To me, this isn't a story of fear, it's a story of empowerment. I realized that I don't need to live in the worry of, will my legs be weak today? Instead, I can live in control, knowing that I'm doing the best for my body and soul. Think about it. What do you want for yourself? Do you want to live with the worry that one day your legs won't listen to you? Or do you want to live with the confidence that you can walk strongly? At any age? To me, the choice is clear. I choose control. I choose strength. And I believe you can do it too. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to change everything in one day. But you can start with a small step, and that small step will lead you to big changes. What will you choose today? Continue as before, or stand up and reclaim your strength? Part 6. A closing word from someone who's been there. A personal story. Before we close, I want to share another perspective with you, not from me, but from an older person I met. Someone who has lived through decades with valuable lessons that I believe you'll want to hear. It was a peaceful afternoon at the park near my house. I sat on a bench and started talking to Helen, an 80-year-old woman with a gentle smile and a slow but steady gait. She told me, I've lived through decades, watched friends weaken day by day and thought it was fate. I used to believe that old age meant losing strength, that no one could avoid sitting still or needing help. But then I realized something. Not always disease or age is the culprit. Sometimes our unintentional habits steal the strength we could have kept. Helen told me she used to take many kinds of vitamins, multivitamins, cod liver oil, even B6 pills she bought because she heard they were good for the brain. But one day, she started feeling numbness in her feet, then weakness in her legs. She went to the doctor, and the doctor found her blood vitamin B6 levels were unusually high, the result of excessive supplementation that no one warned her about. She told me, her voice full of regret, I wish I had asked questions sooner. Had checked what I was taking instead of believing that everything labeled vitamin was safe. But when I stopped, changed my habits, and started walking every day, I regained some of my strength. She smiled, pointing towards the path in the park. Now I still walk every day at 80. Not fast, but proud that I can do it. Helen's story isn't just a tale, it's a vivid lesson for me. And I hope for you too. You don't have to wait until you fall, until you lose your ability to walk, or until you have to live dependent on others to act. You have the power right now, the power to ask questions, to change, to protect yourself. You have the time, not tomorrow, but today, to decide that those little pills won't be allowed to decide your life. Helen did it, even at 80, and I believe you can too. A final call. Think about this. Life isn't just about living long, it's about living healthy. Living strongly, living true to what you want. I'm not here to scare you or make you doubt everything. I'm here to remind you that you have the right to choose, the choice to check, to change, to stand up. Don't let little pills, unintentional habits, or ignorance shape your future. You deserve to walk with steady legs, head held high, and enjoy the life you've worked so hard to build over the years. Act today, even if it's just a small step like checking your vitamin bottle, walking 5 minutes around the house, or calling your doctor. Each step is an affirmation. I choose strength. I choose freedom. Helen did it. I did it. And I believe you will too. Are you ready?